want to diagnose, you ready for this? I'm going to diagnose your sex life with one of three words. Okay? Now those of you that are engaged, you just kind of put your hands over your ears or whatever. But those of us who are married, I can actually diagnose your sex life for one of three words. The first two of which are the wrong answer. So when I say the first two, don't just blurt out, "That's us," okay? Because they're the wrong answer. I'm trying not to embarrass you because I've seen a few guys embarrass themselves when I've said this in the past. So here's the three words. First of all, for many couples, sex is something you do. I want to talk about the word do, have, and share. For many couples, sex is just something we do. In other words, it's just another activity. I mean, you go shopping, you mow the lawn, you clean the garage, you do sex. Okay? I mean, it's just something you put on your things to do list. Well, you say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, if sex is something you do, I promise you, it's just like another activity. It's just like playing golf or playing tennis. It's just an activity. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, I promise you in marriage, if it's an activity, it won't be long till somebody will start doing several things. First of all, if sex is just an activity that you do, somebody will start counting. How long has it been since I played tennis? And I'm not talking about tennis. Somebody's counting. Somebody will start saying, in fact, how many times have I played tennis this week compared to the national tennis playing average? In fact, I'm keeping up with the national tennis playing average, you see. And I'm not talking about tennis here, folks. Now see, what's happened is we've taken God's beautiful plan for sexual intimacy, reduced it to a set of numbers, comparing it to a mystical national average. That's grieving God. God hasn't given us sex as something to do. Secondly, God has not made sex something to have. Many couples just kind of have sex. Well, you have possessions. Sex is not supposed to be a possession. See, possessions are things you have. That's like you have a house, or you have a car, or you have furniture. Your sex life is not supposed to be something you have. Well, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem will be you begin to manage it, right? I mean, that's what you do with possessions. You manage them, right? We manage our houses and our cars and our financial plans. And it's not long, if sex is something you just have, somebody in the marriage will start managing it. Now, what do we mean by that? We start trading. We start making bargains. Well, if you'd ever help me put the kids to bed, I might think about it. So now it's basically, if you'll do this, I might think about this. And so in marriage, you just see if this is true. In our work, we oftentimes find in marriage, you think this is true, we find one person counting and the other one managing. So you got a counter and you got a manager. And neither of those is what God wants. He wants you to have sex in the context of sex is something you share. It's not something you do or have, it's something you share. Our explanation of sexual intimacy is this. It is simply the freedom to share all of yourself, spirit, soul, and body with another person. It's God's beautiful plan for how we share. And for many of us, we've not learned that principle, and so we oftentimes will help couples dialogue and talk about this dimension of their marital life.